Most, if all, the New Testament documents were written prior to 70 AD, and the sources from which the New Testament writers wrote go all the way back to the resurrection itself. Even an atheist like Bart Ehrman, a skeptic, admits that 1 Corinthians 15, verses 3 to 8, which talks about Jesus being resurrected from the dead and who he appeared to, goes all the way back within a year or two of the resurrection itself. This is very early data. Now, Paul wrote it down in 55 AD, but it's very early. In fact, Gary Habermas of Liberty University has identified 41 creeds, like the one in 1 Corinthians 15, which predate the writing of the New Testament. This is very early testimony, very difficult to be invented. Let me ask you a question. Let's suppose you are reading a history of Lower Manhattan, and you read the story of the Twin Towers being built. When the book is over, there's no mention of the towers being destroyed on 9/11. When are you going to assume that book was written? Prior to 9/11, obviously. Well, the New Testament doesn't mention an event that was even more dramatic than 9/11, and that is the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple in 70 AD. Jesus predicts it in his Olivet Discourse, but nobody ever says, look, Jesus was right. Why not? Because the documents were written prior to 70 AD. In fact, even John, which is thought to have been written late, even John in John chapter 5 talks about a pool of Bethesda was destroyed. The pool of Bethesda was destroyed in 70 AD, yet John is speaking of it as if it's still standing when he's writing. Even the book of Revelation indicates it seems that the temple is still standing. There is positive evidence that the New Testament writers are likely writing prior to 70 AD.